I had a little kind of like epiphany. So let's just maybe really quickly do a little exercise here. And let's just say you have a Spark project, right? I'm just gonna close all that stuff for now. So let's just say you're working on your Spark project as you do, right? And you see it's now, the window is now also floating in the universe, which is kind of cool. So you're working on your Spark project and you're adding beautiful stuff to it. What am I gonna add? Obviously my favorite torus. I'm gonna put it in, and then I'm gonna add another one. And then maybe I can rotate it, right? And then maybe, I don't know, rotate it again. And then I have here my beautiful, beautiful collection of tori, I suppose. What is that? Tori? I don't know. Anyway, donuts. Nom nom. Donuts. Oh, actually, that calls for skeleton dance. Shark time. So yeah, we have those donuts, and then let's say, okay, I'm gonna save those donuts. I'm gonna save those beautiful donuts in today's date. And then, you know, maybe a day passes or whatever, and I'm working on the new scene. And now I want to, and I'm building something, and maybe I have a face tracker, let's say, and I do something in my face tracker. I don't know, I add another donut to it or whatever. And now let's just assume, for the sake of the argument, this is not a donut, but this is like a very complex scene you've been working on for days, or maybe it's something you want to bring in. And oh, hey, Josh, yeah, he's using the emotes. Very good, my friend. That's how it works. I haven't even figured it out myself, but cool. So let's say, you know, you worked on that stuff and you want to bring your donuts you did yesterday in that scene. So it turns out in Spark, unfortunately, there's import, but only for FBX and stuff, but not for other Spark scenes. Very bad, very bad. So there's this thing called blocks, and let's just look at the block real quick for those of you who don't know. A block is essentially a Spark scene inside of a Spark scene. So I can do this block, put that here in my face tracker, and now it's still empty. Oh, and also I don't have any face, so let's get this guy again. So now I can go in here, and inside of this I can put anything I want, really. So inside of my block root, see, this is important. This is this block root. So this is anything below this. If I click save, gets updated in my original scene, right? So this is basically just a scene inside a scene. Okay, so you're gonna say, well, amazing. Then why don't you just use this to get stuff in? Well, the problem is what I saved now, the file I saved here, it is donuts. If I look in there, it's a project, so I cannot open it. I can just, well, I can open it, but I cannot merge it with the other scene. So, as you might have guessed, I found something that lets you do this, and it's this. It's a script I made, basically, and I called it Rootkit. Shark time! So what it does, it's basically, it's just a website really, but it's basically like a tool where you can choose the files, go donuts, and it will give you this, which is, as you see here, an AR block, right? So here, what it says here, this is what's inside of the AR project. You don't have to worry about that really. But basically what it gives you is an AR block, and I just hope that it works now. So basically if I now drag this AR block inside of here, it does open as a block. And if I now drag that in my face tracker, I see, Oh, I see nothing. Well, that's too bad. But if I open it here in this edit thing, I see that all of my scene stuff is still available here. So the device, the camera, focal distance, all of that stuff, which is not usually inside of a block, is still available, but this block root is what's important. So if I move the stuff I want below this block root here, save it, then I should see all my beautiful donuts. Fuck yeah! Very cool, Shark Time. And yeah, so that's it. If you want the script, then just subscribe. You're gonna get it. And you can just do that. And it's like, it definitely beats redoing everything, because so far, really what you had to do before, more or less, is redoing all the stuff, get the assets in manually and so on and so forth. So we could end this tutorial here, and this is more or less what I want to do. But of course, we have to go deeper. So for you that knows this channel, you know I'm not gonna fuck around with shit like that, but I want to show you also how it works, why it works, and what's up. So alright, so let's look into what's going on. So this is now again the folder we had with the original Donut AR project, right? And now if you look into that file, and if you just use a zip program to open it, you will see that actually it's just a zip file, right? So it's just a packed file. And inside of this packed file, you have this, which is the donut. GLB is a binary mesh format. And this is also what the tool shows you here. And if you have more than one mesh, it will list all of those. And then you have this main.json. And this is actually that's really the scene file, and if we unpack it, I'm just gonna unpack it here, and if we open it, then we are gonna see that this is actually just a text file. Let me just use Notepad to use something that everyone has. So if I drag that in here, I see this is just basically a bunch of values, right? And if you look at what that is, you can kind of see this is a Spark scene. So you have camera near, children, you have texture. So it looks like this is something that's going on with the Spark scene, right? And what I did then is I looked into, well, how is actually an AR project file different from an AR block file? And I used this tool here, and this is also a link in the folder. It's a Json Viewer, it's called, and this is actually quite handy, because this allows you to view this JSON. I mean, first of all, you can beautify it, so this is a lot easier to read. And there you already see, oh, okay, so this is all the data Spark is using. But you can also look at it as a tree, which looks like this. And this is, as you probably know from file folders or whatever else, you can just open that, and the cameras, this is a object, I don't know, the JSON is actually a JavaScript object notation, I suppose it's called. Let's see what's this actually called. Yeah, JavaScript object notation. So it's actually a JavaScript object, that's why it's called object. And inside of that is all of the stuff that goes on in the Spark scene. And you see here, this is the file version, this is the program, AR Studio Skylight, this is still from the old AR Studio. And there's also something, is block document. So you would think, oh, okay, if I just click is block document, then I would be good. But actually, that's not what I did to the file, because if you do that, all of the stuff that is now still in here, so device, camera, focal distance, all of that stuff will be gone. Anything you do below that will be gone also. So what you want really is this block root here, right? So, well, where is this block root? And you will find that if you go to children, you have here, this is basically, those are all the objects in the scene, right? This is basically like a pre-made thing for fonts, for textures, materials, and so forth. And you have here the 3D models, and you know, all of this stuff going on. So basically what I did, I just figured out how to inject this block root object in the JSON. And then I wrote a little wrapper with a nice, beautiful background and a nice logo I made. You know how you always like, if you, I don't know if you know, but like this ASCII art shit, and I love that stuff. It's like, this reminds me of my youth. So yeah, and this is obviously much more handy than, you know, fucking around with stuff like that and just manually going through that shit and kind of copying and pasting that stuff. And this is what I literally did to figure that out. And this is by no means something that, I mean, it will probably break. It might break when Facebook does an update. You don't know. I mean, I think it should not. I think it's actually really, really cool because, seriously, one of the main pain points of Spark AR. Oh, wrong. Yeah, sorry. Fuck! The main pain points really is, why the fuck can't I merge scenes? Why cannot I merge scenes? That's what I want to know. Well, anyway, now you can. Amazing, Shark Time. And yes, it doesn't work for everything. There are scenes that don't work with this tool. And so, you know, your mileage may vary, but check it out. And it's also, and again, like the tool is like super hacky. The way I do it, if you know JavaScript and you look into the source code, you're gonna be like, oh my god, this is really bad. But I might work on it a little bit more. And yeah, Lasse, I'm actually using a JS zip. I'm not even touching the zip. I have this JavaScript library which allows for manipulation of packed content, which is obviously much nicer. So I'm really just injecting my code into Spark, and that, and again, like the beautiful thing about it is that, so what you can do actually is, even without my script, what you can do is if you just literally take this AR project here, right? I'm gonna make a copy and then rename it to AR block. CK. Yes, it will import. See, it will import and it will still work. You will have the your donuts here. But because there's no block root inside of it, so if I go here, do edit, and there's, oh sorry, this is the wrong guy. So I probably have to, now it's getting confused because it's there twice. So if I just take the, you know, the file that is renamed, and you go to edit, there's no block root, so you will not be able to move that stuff. And actually, one thing, I cannot guarantee that this will work when you upload scenes. Big disclaimer, right? So this is, I'm gonna make this very clear to you. I don't know whether those files will pass upload, right? I do not know. I have no idea. I haven't tried it. But the point is, if you want to like try quick things and you have scenes lying around and you want to merge shit to just try stuff, it drove me nuts that you had to literally rebuild shit or just, you know, I don't know. It's crazy. That way you can just import it and maybe you will fuck up your scene and you will have to rebuild it in the end. I don't know. You can try. Again, your mileage may vary. This is a very, as I said, very hacky. This is not like a necessarily production tool. But I think it's fucking amazing. So yes, Shark Time. They might actually check on upload. Yeah. So if you, so that would be actually something that we could optimize. So basically, if you look at the stuff, all the objects have this, whatever this is here. It's a hash, or I don't really know what that is. But I mean, you could obviously do it in a way that it injects a block and that it just copies this hash to the block. Right now, I'm just using a blank anything, and Spark doesn't care. But you could definitely optimize it, and you could also say, hey, it just kicks out everything that is not allowed in a block, and it moves the stuff into the block root itself, and so on and so forth. But again, like I just discovered this 3 days ago, so it's a hack. It can be optimized, and just I don't know, play around with it and see how it works for you, and then we can maybe optimize it as we go along. Lars is asking whether blocks get merged when you do export. Well, we can try. What if I go to here and I'm just gonna import my beautifully engineered hacky block shit, and then of course I have to bring that back to block root, save it, and then it's here, and then I'm going to do export save donuts merged. How do I even do export? Oh, upload to Spark. Okay, then I do export, and then I'm gonna do, oh no, watch export. Okay. I don't know, should be fine, I guess. Oh, the one thing that is important actually, the AR block file, right? It needs to be in the same directory as the project file. If it's not, then it can't reference the objects in here and whatever else is in there, and it will complain, right? Like if I take this guy, sorry, and I move it one folder up, and I try to import it again, it will not work. It will say import failed, right? But if I put it back in where it belongs, because donuts belong to other donuts, I can import it and it works, right? So that's the other thing. Cool. Alrighty. So yes, amazing. Dancing skeletons. Shark time, woo! Craziness.